Hey, everybody, welcome back to your Inside Track to Success. I am your host, Stewart Kraintz, and we have a really, I think, amazing opportunity to do something a little bit different today. So, for those of you listening to this show, your Inside Track to Success has now been a live weekly updating show available anywhere where podcasts can be found for over a year. So we've been 52 episodes deep. This is going to count as the 53rd episode of this show. And I wanted to take the opportunity to just reflect on the year that was and share with you guys some of the lessons that have been learned along the way for the experience of putting together a show like this for you guys. You know, this show debuted on March 1st, 2023, really at the pushing and at the behest of some friends and mentors of mine who I had been telling for a long time I wanted to start a show and just had not been doing anything with. You know, for those of you who have heard the story on previous episodes, podcasting is something that I have wanted to get into for the last 5 years. And I've always wanted to have a personal development type show where I am interviewing leaders, experts, really just people that have amazing expertise in certain areas of life or certain modalities of personal development that can support you in creating the best life of your dreams, whatever that is, whether you want to become a foster care parent or if you want to become independently wealthy or pursue that dream career or maybe just find the love of your life. That's what this show stands for. And I want to take this opportunity to make sure that I am just imparting on you some of the wisdom that has been gained in a year of producing a show like this. So, want to first of all shout out a man by the name of John Yarberry. He was actually episode 6 on this show. John is somebody that has a lot of expertise in the digital space. He has a very successful YouTube channel called the Cincinnati Picker, where he buys and resells things at garage sales, thrift stores, etc., in the Cincinnati area. And had the opportunity to meet him around Super Bowl Sunday 2023 when the Chiefs beat the Eagles. And telling him about my podcast idea and telling him that I wouldn't be launching it until May 1st. And I wanted to just thank him because he just says to me point blank, "What's preventing you from starting it tomorrow?" And I didn't actually have a good answer for him other than my own perfectionism, y'all. And so because of that, you know, we're talking Super Bowl Sunday, I end up pushing myself and getting it launched by March 1st. So chucking all of my perfectionism out the window, I just got started. And because of that, I'm able to celebrate that this show is right at the 1 year anniversary mark. So a big shout out to John Yarberry. That's the first lesson for today is just to get started. Whatever it is that you want to do in your life, the clock is always ticking, y'all. Tomorrow is actually not guaranteed. You know, we all know somebody who, or know somebody who knows somebody who thought they had all the time in the world to get something done. And then just like that, their circumstances change. Maybe they get in an accident, or maybe, you know, they have some type of major financial catastrophe and that project or that goal or that dream gets pushed off. You know, start today because the impact that your choices make is something the world can't wait for. You know, if you want to do something as simple as learn how to play the piano just for yourself and no one else, like who knows what joy you could spread in the world just by playing somebody their favorite tune on the piano. If you have the idea for that business, like how can that change the world? Imagine all the people you can impact. Imagine the money you can reinvest in your community because you say so with some of the net proceeds. Like I'm just making stuff up, but the point is like you can't get anywhere. You definitely can't touch your goals and dreams if you don't get started. Not starting is actually guaranteeing that you don't achieve the end result. And so, full disclosure, this podcast has grown substantially over the last year. It's nowhere near where I want it to be. It's nowhere near where I intend it to be. And it's nowhere near where I'm going to work hard to make sure it gets to be. My vision for this platform is to continue to push it and develop it and push myself to see how this can continue to grow and impact people and touch as many lives as humanly possible. Because, I believe that I'm put here on this earth to support other people in creating the best life of their dreams. So that is my mission with this. That is my vision. And that is my segue into the next point, which is making sure you have a vision for whatever you are up to. You know, I'm in a leadership program right now, and what it keeps coming back to is that leaders have a strong vision. And not only do they have a strong vision, y'all, but they are committed, like no BS, to that vision. Like they are going to wake up and stand for it and do the work, especially on the days they don't want to. And they're going to make whatever has to happen in order to achieve the dream, to achieve the goal. Nobody gave me permission to start a podcast. You can argue that John Yarberry did, but nobody actually gave me permission to start a podcast. His life certainly wasn't going to change whether or not I pressed record for the first time or not. But you know what? My dream of having an impact and, more importantly, supporting other people and making sure they're having an impact in the world as well was what this was all about. And that became bigger than any of my excuses for not continuing on with this show. So this show currently, more on this later, but currently updates every Wednesday, 6 a.m. Eastern, like clockwork. And I have never broken that streak because it matters. The vision matters. People knowing that there's going to be an update matters. Making sure I can get as much value and content and valuable voices and expertise on this show matters, y'all. And let me tell you, there were a lot of days I could have thrown in the towel. Like, full disclosure, it's Tuesday as I'm recording this for tomorrow's episode. It's not right or wrong, but there were a lot of things that got in the way of me getting this episode recorded before now. And, I easily could have thrown in the towel. I'm going to be blessed to record, produce, edit this entire episode today so that it's ready for tomorrow at 6 a.m. But that's okay because the vision is bigger than my excuses. It's bigger than the circumstances. It's bigger than all of the things that got in the way of recording this episode before now, because the consistency and the commitment to the vision matters. And so no matter what you are up to, no matter what you want to create with your life, make sure that you are showing up with a vision for yourself, with consistency, with a no BS attitude. Like, it's going to happen. You just get to show up and do the work each and every day. Newsflash, y'all, like, I don't think I've ever stuck to anything quite like this for this long, ever. And I can't tell you the breakthroughs I've had. It's created breakthroughs in my relationships, not only in my friendships and in my network, but also in my family. Like, my wife and kids see me a bit differently because I show up and I do this thing every single week without fail. I make it happen to get top guests on the show, working with their schedules and mine to make sure we can get them down and get the interview recorded. It's not as easy as just shooting a text each and every time. I see myself differently because I see determination, I see hunger. I've built this credibility with myself that I am somebody that's actually going to stand for something and that's actually going to make a difference and have an impact. And so I'm curious if you are hearing this and feeling any type of way about the words that are coming out of my mouth, like what would be possible for you in the way you look at yourself in the mirror if you just picked something and stuck with it for a long period of time? Full disclosure, like this isn't making money. I'm doing this because I want to do this. So rule that out of the equation, but what would it be like for you to develop a skill like learning how to draw or playing the guitar or taking some dance classes? I think so often we put so much pressure on something becoming a side hustle or a revenue producing stream of income that we rob ourselves of the curiosity and the joy and the pursuit of happiness of just doing a thing. And because of that, we rob ourselves of the credibility that we create with ourselves of being able to do and learn hard things. It's not rocket science putting together a podcast, but there is an art to it. There's a lot of pieces. I have it down to a formula because I'm 53 episodes in, but I had to start with episode 1 and then episode 2 and then episode 3. And this experience, not to beat a dead horse, has been eye-opening for me in terms of how often do we prevent ourselves from even having the opportunity to start something new because we put so much pressure on the end result. So that's actually the third lesson is, again, tying back to just getting started. The third lesson, to put a fine point on it, is to trust that anything you want to pursue is worth it. It's worth your time, it's worth your energy, and you get to go for it. Because again, it will change how you view yourself in the mirror. It will change how your friends, your family, your colleagues view you. Because as you develop that confidence, that credibility, that integrity with yourself, you will look at yourself differently. You will feel differently about yourself, and you will begin to carry yourself differently out in the world, knowing that you are out there doing something that you love, or that you at least have this really cool skill or hobby that you can talk about. When people ask you, what did you do on the weekend? You can tell somebody that you learned an entire music book of sheet music, or you took a pottery class and you're super excited about it, you know. But that's something that I think has really come alive in the last year for me, and I know is valuable for you guys if you choose it. So it's the consistency of showing up for your vision, your commitment. You do got to get started. You do have to get started. Otherwise, this is all for naught. But sticking to anything over the course of a year, give yourself not even a year, guys, give yourself 6 months. Give yourself 6 months of no BS commitment and see what happens to you. Maybe it isn't the exact end result you want, but I promise you, you will not be the same person if you stick to it, if you choose it, if you go for it whole hog. That's a promise I can make to you, whatever it is that you want to pursue listening to this. I can't wait to see what those things are. So I know that today's episode is a bit shorter than some of the others that we've had, but really, guys, I just want to thank each and every one of you who have logged in, tuned in, listened to the episodes, especially the handful of you that I know have listened to this show each and every episode since March of 2023. You guys are truly appreciated from the bottom of my heart. You know who you are. You know, this show wouldn't be what it is without you. And 2024 is going to be no different. We're going to continue to have awesome guests on the show, going to continue to look for different ways to provide value, to provide personal growth, to support you, giving you those messages, those key takeaways, those aha moments to support you in creating the life of your dreams. It's always one day at a time, but you know what? The journey for me has been an absolute blast. So I know that it's going to continue to be an amazing endeavor for us together. So I thank each and every one of you for being on this ride with me to this point, and I can't wait to see where the next year and beyond takes us. At some point, I will be going up to 2 episodes a week. Don't exactly have the timeline on that yet, but just so you know, there will be 2 episodes a week coming your way sometime this year. Super excited for that. It's just an opportunity for me to continue to up the impact, share the impact out with the world. And again, like make sure you always have something there to boost you up, to lift you up, to pick you up throughout your day, quite frankly. And it's something I'm excited to do so that we can not only continue to grow the show and reach more people, but make sure that you are never without me in your back pocket, literally in your phone, to help you create the life of your dreams. So, y'all, this has been Stewart Kraintz. I am your host of Your Inside Track to Success. Thank you so much for being here. It's been quite the year. 2024 has just gotten started. Cannot wait to see where this year takes us. Catch you next week.